Kingdom Builders, welcome, day 15. And today is the midway point of our 30-day challenge. And it's been one of the hardest so far in terms of just the expectation and the fact that we have the answers. And somebody brought it up in the group today that this is like an open book exam. And that's exactly what it is. And when you fail an open book exam, how does that really make you feel? It's like defeating on one hand, but on the other hand, it's liberating because you know that when that test comes back again, you'll have all the answers. And this has been one of the hardest challenges that I've been a part of, and not because the challenge was anything crazy. It's actually quite simple and straightforward, but it opens up a part of you that you didn't even know was there. And failing this challenge is like failing an open book exam, and not because it's easy. Open book exams are not always easy, but because the answers are right in front of you. And in our case, the answers are within us. And the test itself is not whether things that frustrate you, things that challenge you are going to happen. The test is whether you will remember what you already know when they do happen. Because it's usually after we fail the test that we start to remember, and that we even realize that this was just a test. But guess what? It's all a test. Every single thing that's going on, it's there to test you. It's there to reveal something. And the sooner you wake up and realize that, the better life is going to be for you. And we already know right now that complaining solves nothing. It doesn't solve the problem. It doesn't solve the issue in front of you. And we already know that repeating what is wrong, rehearsing the situation, it usually just makes the situation feel worse sometimes. And we already know that our words influence how we feel. They influence our emotion. They influence our environment. And they influence the people around us. And guess what? We also already know that there's usually another way to look at whatever is happening in front of us. And guess what that way is? God's perspective. And I promise you, if you believe that God is sovereign, and if you believe God is in control, then wouldn't it behoove you to look at things from God's perspective versus your own perspective? And I promise you that every time that I do that, when I'm in the worst situations, it always, for somehow, some way, gets better. And so we have all the answers, and the book is open. You have the prayer, you know the gratitude, you know the silence, you know all the tools, you know how to shift perspectives. You have the ability to ask and receive, ask for a solution, ask for the way, ask for guidance. You've got the choices. You've got the decision to step away before speaking. You've got the freedom to say, yes, this is difficult, but I will not let it control my response or my posture. But here's the thing about open book tests. They still require discipline. If anybody listening has never taken an open book test, ask somebody. The answers could be sitting right in front of you, but they're useless if you don't find them, if you don't know how to find them, if you don't know where to look. And in the same way, wisdom does not help you just because you heard it, just because you've read it, just because you've seen it posted somewhere and it felt good in the moment. Truth has to be remembered and applied, and especially under pressure. Those pressure moments, that's when it counts. That's when everything that you read about, all the podcasts, all the group messages, those things are great, but the real test reveals itself when the pressure comes. And you're not being tested on what you read or what you remembered or understood when everything was calm. The test is going to come when you're inconvenienced, when you're disappointed, misunderstood, tired, delayed, hungry, angry, uncomfortable. It's going to come in those moments. And so right now, look at your life and ask yourself, do any of those 5, 6 categories apply to you? Are you hungry? Hungry for love, hungry for money, hungry for affection, attention? Are you uncomfortable in a situation, in your marriage, in your business? Are you misunderstood? Are you disappointed? Are you delayed? The business was going to come, the child was going to come, the marriage was going to come, the relationship. Those things are going to test what you really believe. Are you going to complain? Because we can all speak good, talk positively when things are going according to the plan. But life changes when you get punched in the mouth. The real test starts when life interrupts that plan that you had. Yeah, in 6 months I'm going to do this. In 9 months I'm going to do this. Okay, what happens when that shifts? And this is why complaining is so deceptive. It feels like it's justified. It feels like I have the right to complain. I said it was going to be this in 6 months and it's not, so I got to complain. Yeah, you might be correct about what happened. They might have given you bad service. That person that cut you off might have been irresponsible. The delay might have been unnecessary. And the situation might just be, quote unquote, unfair. But guess what? Just because you're right about the problem doesn't mean complaining is the right response. In an open book exam that we're talking about here, it doesn't ask you to invent the solution or invent the answer. It asks you to recognize and apply it. And the answer could be something as simple as shut up, or be quiet, just for a moment. The answer could be ask. The answer could be speak directly to the person in front of you. It could be show concern without rehearsing the frustration. It could be accept it. It could be don't turn this bad moment, this bad response into a whole bad day. And I've done that. I've seen it. Where one little thing happens to you in the morning and you got a decision right there. Do I let this ruin my entire day, or do I let this be a moment? And sometimes the answer is action. And other times it's patience. Other times it could be setting a boundary. But this challenge that we're taking is not about perfection. And I say that at least every other day. But it's about awareness. Because the more you can catch yourself complaining, the more you can course correct. And when you do catch yourself complaining, don't waste any more time complaining about the fact that you just complained. That's like answering a question incorrectly and then just saying, you know what, I'm not going to finish the rest of the exam because I missed this question. No, you correct it and continue. And this challenge is not to prove that you can go 30 days without making a mistake. It's to train you to recognize the moment that you make that mistake sooner. And at first, when you started this challenge, you might complain for a whole hour before noticing it. And now 10 minutes, maybe even a minute. But eventually, you're going to hear that complaint before it even starts to form. And that's growth. And someone said that we're our best judges. And sometimes when it comes from the internal, nobody else can see that. Nobody's going to know that you just averted a complaint except you. And so the victory is not just having less complaints. The victory, the true victory, is becoming less controlled by outside situations that make you complain and being able to identify the internal moment where you start to give birth to that complaint. And by the end of this challenge, you're going to start seeing that your tolerance for complaints has gone down. And by today, day 15, I'm sure you've already received enough truth to finish this challenge. And the question is no longer, do I know what to do? The question is, will I use what I know? You got the tools. there's not much more we can talk about. We have all the tools. And so before you respond to any inconvenience today, pause and just ask, what answer from the first or from these last 14 days applies to this moment? And then I think there's only 3 responses that you can have. You either solve the problem, you accept it, or you release it. But you can't complain about it. And my declaration for today is I already have all the tools I need. And today I will not fail an open book test by ignoring the answers that are already inside of me. Instead, I'm going to remember, apply, and respond with intention. And so the book is open. It's an open book test. Now all we got to do is apply the answer. No more failure. We've been failing. I failed on Sunday. I failed yesterday. And I'm proud to admit that my failure rate has gone up, but it's almost like I'm getting rid of things now. And I'm seeing the moment. And now when the complaint comes, I'm negotiating with the complaint. Like, no, I'm not going to express this. The complaint is saying, no, you should. And most times I don't, but there's still that little part that gets satisfaction from expressing it. Have a great day, everyone. And let's pass the tests.